Spartan Nation, Big Ting Nation. This is Cam, the super cool Spartan, my brother Brian, the super mad Spartan. Q the Woodshed coming back at you with our Big Ten talk, along with the preview of the big hate week, rivalry week, house divided week, Michigan State coming up this Saturday. It's a nationwide game, 7:30 in the evening. The battle for the Paul Bunyan Trophy is upon us once again. And as we know, not too many people think we're going to beat the Wolverines this year again. And things are looking pretty low right now as far as with morale. We know what happened coming out of the Indiana game. We got our ass kicked. I mean, even though, some people are saying, yeah, MSU looked better on offense. Well, they did for maybe like the first quarter and a half. And then
scored 10 points in real football time.
Right. Couldn't do diddly squat until like 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. We went from 10 to 13. So anyway, as it says in the past, so now here we are, 3-4, 0-4 in the Big Ten. And can the Fighting Spartans, can the Clawing Spartans, what do you want to call them, can they muster up a much-needed win in the Big Ten against that team down the road, Michigan Wolverines? They're coming off of, for them, a good win against Washington. Washington came into the Big House, pretty much hot. They were 5-1 at the time, riding pretty high, and they got humbled, in the Big House. So, of course, Michigan, they're feeling themselves, and they got their eyes on keeping the Paul Bunyan Trophy. They're licking their chops. They're, probably in the locker room, they're looking like, yeah, MSU's a wounded duck. And I think you mentioned, Brian, in the spring ball or maybe doing summer practice, whatever it is, that they was talking a lot of shit about MSU. I think you mentioned that.
I think the term was it's going to be belt to ass.
Oh, well, all right.
A couple of defenders, yeah.
Belt to
And when you win, you
ass.
can talk shit, though. There you go.
So let's get right into it. Our preview of Michigan State here. So first question I have is, do we have a chance? I haven't seen what the spread is yet of this game. If it's out, I'm guessing it's double digits like the rest of the
I
games.
saw the spread. It was posted on the message board. I'm sorry to cut you off. It was 13.5 was the opening line that I saw.
Okay.
So
I kind of figured it would be
basically
like a 2 touchdown spread between us. I knew it wouldn't be something ridiculous like Indiana or ridiculous like USC because, Michigan, they're okay, but they're not USC that level. They're not Oregon. They're damn near not Ohio State. They're not even Indiana. So they're kind of right there in that second tier along with Washington and USC. Row the boat, Minnesota, Northwestern. They're in, that second tier, the 5-2 overall record, 2-1 Big Ten play, 3-1 Big Ten
they're
play.
They're probably going to make a bowl game record. That's where they're at. They're
going
to make a bowl
for
game,
sure.
Probably.
Whether if they do this coming up week against us or next week, whoever they play after us. So safe to say they'll be going bowling. As for us, we'll be toilet bowling right down the drain. But anyway, let's still stay focused on the game. So, do we have a chance, Super Mad Spartan? And if so, what percentage do you give us of pulling off an upset in our own home stadium?
Do we have a chance? Yeah, it's not a big one. I have to keep saying this phrase because it's become, what I think about this team. It's going to require Michigan State to play a game we have not seen them play under John Smith. Well, maybe once was Iowa. Maybe. It's going to take
Which was exactly a year ago.
Yes, it's going to take complementary football, offense, defense, special teams. Have not seen it this year. So, do we have a chance? Yes, I think. Well, Aiden Childs had his ups and downs. If we get
15% chance, 10%,
five, I don't.
5%. Whoa.
I think, and that's me. That's me just having a little bit of hope. In my brain, I think it's 0%. I have not seen anything from this team that makes me think they can get up and have the fight to go against U of M. U of M is a solid team. And what have we seen Michigan State do versus solid teams? Get our legs put in the air. They're taking us to Pound Town. That's what solid teams have done to Michigan State. So I'm not expecting a victory. I would love to see it. I'm rooting for it. I can't in my brain. I can't see anything that Michigan State has presented this year that give me like, oh yeah, we can go. We can beat Michigan.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I'm not one of those Spartan fans who are just blind to the fact. Usually, when Michigan wins, is because we're a bad football team. I mean, when
we say the same thing about them. They'll say the same thing about the only beat us when we're bad.
Well, which is not true because when both teams have been equal, looking at each other face to face, 8-0 records or identical records, I'll just say identical records. Michigan State in the past, I'll just say 20 years, going back to D'Antonio, has beaten Michigan at their height. So when we played them in the games, and let's say both teams came in undefeated, or both teams came in with like one loss, we have usually won those games. Only time that we haven't is when we've sucked.
Well, and to your point, Michigan State has sucked more often than not, so that's why they've won a lot of those games. I can agree with that. Michigan does not beat Michigan State usually if Michigan State is an 8-win football team. Like the statistics is like 90% Michigan State wins those games if they're going to win, if we win 8 games that year. So to that point, yes. Outside of the D'Antonio years, 8 wins is few and far between.
Yeah.
So that's the other side of that statistic. With this game, advantages, our biggest thing is if we get good Aiden Childs like we had last game, we have a shot, but we have to score touchdowns. We have to score points. We had the moral victory versus Indiana was, the team fought. They didn't look like they gave up. Okay. Sure.
Right.
It's going to put points on the board. It's just, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm blaming Aiden Childs for the points not being put on the board. There's other reasons, disadvantages that we have that is going to make it very hard. Our offensive line has not been good, not consistent. Michigan's D line,
No.
they have their 2 ends. Was it Barnum and I think his last name is Moore? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Those guys get off the ball and they get to the QB. I have not seen a game where those guys not flying across around the edge and sacking the QB. So I believe you're going to see a lot of that. Michigan's offensive line,
now I will
solid.
say,
I think their left tackle might be hurt. So, but can Michigan State take advantage of it? I have not seen it. What I just want to get. I'm starting to. I can feel my temperature starting to boil up now. When was the last time you saw a Michigan State defensive end just like completely win a 1-on-1 against a tackle and get to this quarterback? Even versus Nebraska, that's kind of a function of their offense. They hold the Patty Mahomes Jr. holds the ball too long, so we kind of got to him. But versus a P4 opponent, Have you seen Michigan State defensive linemen went off the edge and get to the quarterback?
It's been a long time.
So even if their left tackle's out, I just I haven't seen it. I haven't seen our linebackers be in position. Even we thought at the beginning of the year we could stop the run, which is a non-negotiable versus Michigan. You have to stop the run. That's what they want to
Mm-hmm.
do. They want to run the ball. They are content to hand the ball off 52 times in a row if you're not going to stop it. I think defensive tackles for Michigan State are solid and they do their job. But our linebackers have consistently been out of position. Linebacker safeties out of position during the run, especially these last few games. And
Mm-hmm.
with Michigan's running back, Justice Hayes or Haynes, he gets a crease. That man is taken into the house.
Yeah. And I'm sure
So
he's
I don't
playing this week
need.
because I know he's been out the last couple
Yes,
games.
yeah. I just don't. Just that piece alone doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me. I think where football is one, offensive line, defensive line, I think Michigan State's lacking in both. If you can't control line scrimmage versus Michigan, you're going to lose
Yeah,
straight up.
that's true. I think the only game I saw, I think the only games I saw where their D line was ineffective was in their losses because against Oklahoma, they couldn't get to the quarterback. If they did, it was maybe a couple times. When I saw the USC game, they may have gotten to USC's quarterback maybe once or twice, but for the most part, they USC's offense took Michigan's D line out. I mean, they was running the ball on them. There's definitely bombing that ball all over the place down the field
Oh,
on
for
them.
sure. It's not.
So
This is not the defense of years past where Michigan's defense they have NFL tackles and all and they're not elite and like an elite
right,
defensive line, elite defense. They're good to very good, which is all you need versus Michigan State.
true, yeah. I'm
I
not damn,
I
yeah.
haven't seen us perform, versus I don't know. I haven't seen enough from Michigan State to give me confidence on the lines.
I
And
agree
then we're
with you on
still
that.
rotating. We're still rotating offensive linemen. I don't know what that's about. I don't understand it. People are hurt. I get that part of it, but this just is what it is at this point. Too many negative plays on offense. As good as Aiden Childs was versus Indiana, we still suffer for too many tackles for loss,
Yeah,
and it derails the offense. We can have 10 good plays in a row, and then we're gonna do some type of run play, first down, stopped in the backfield, jumping forward. Now we're 2nd and 14 behind the sticks. Tough
yep.
order.
Then that 2nd and 14 turns into 3rd and 19, turns into punt.
Punt,
So
and
I
especially with
think, oh, go ahead.
no, I say especially with how the defensive line is from Michigan getting into the quarterback and getting to the run is, I can just imagine them just shooting the gap and so many tackles for a loss. And then once they get you in the third and long situations and they're 2nd and long, we know we have to throw the ball, and
Right,
that allows them to tee off on your quarterback.
right.
No, I can say this one small thing that we kind of saw versus Indiana. Indiana has a very good defense. We did see for the first time all season a short passing game, intermediate passing game from our offense, which you're going to need to do versus a defensive line that can get to you. So small hope.
Yep, small hope. And the things I'll add to your analysis there, Superman Spartan, which is a very good analysis, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
For a non X and O's, let's bring out the telestrator, teleprompter, drawn up plays. You provide a very good analysis there. So the couple things I'll add is one, MSU has a puncher's chance, yes. A small percentage, yes. One thing I'll add to the discussion here is that it's a big rivalry game. We talk about rivalry games, records. Yeah, despite how you see the records usually go out of the box when you're talking about a rivalry, especially one like ours, because with the proximity between these two schools, about an hour from each other. I mean, every day in life, we know when you are living in the area that we do, the Metro Detroit area, other parts of the state of Michigan, you know, you're walking side by side with someone from the other school, or you live with someone that loves the other school. So there's just so much proximity right there that, I think that does carry over to the game itself, from strictly a fan's perspective. And then when you add, players from high school that know about Michigan State, they may have been, they play together at different schools, or they may know each other, from rival high schools. And they go to Michigan, they go to Michigan State, and that carries over. So I think there's some factor to that. Now, of course, this one's different because you know the coaches on Michigan State, they don't know the rivalry as much as we do because they're not from this area. Aiden Childs, you grew up in California, so he got his first taste of the rivalry last year. So you have those factors. I mean, they're minor factors, but that other than that, you know, you throw out records when it comes to rivalry games. So that's number one. Number two, I do think there is a little advantage for Michigan State when they're on offense, because to your point, Brian, Michigan's defense isn't vaunted, with or without Connor Stalions' help. But yeah, their defense is good. But from what we've seen, like when they played against USC, for example, or even games they've lost, that you can't throw on Michigan. So I think there is somewhat, an advantage to that from that perspective. Because like you said, if we're able to get the ball in the middle of the field, like what we did against Indiana, even though, that resulted in it's still a loss, but, that first half or first 1.5 quarters, Aiden Childs he looked really good. Like you said, he throwing short passes, intermediate passes, and that was pretty much getting to Indiana. And, I think that's something similar they can do, in this game. And I do think, especially with Nick Marsh out there, I like Amari Kelly, the McCray kid. MSU has some pretty decent receivers overall. So if there's a way they can take advantage of Michigan, outside of their defensive, their D line, I think there could be a little bit of sunshine right there. Um, and maybe, keeping the pace of the game relatively fast, I guess, kind of tire out the defense somewhat. Um, I think pace will
So
be,
like possess the ball like we did versus Indiana.
yeah, that. Well, I was thinking more so having a quicker tempo on the field. But yeah, I
Okay.
guess if it's a possession like game, you know, not that what's his name? Underwood, he doesn't throw that many passes. The passes that he's thrown, he's made some good passes. I definitely see some potential in him, when throwing the ball. But, he's not like USC's quarterback or even Indiana's
No,
quarterback. He's not slinging the ball over the place and I think
at
this is
least not
another
yet.
advantage that Michigan State will have is that the receivers, because Michigan's receivers aren't lining it up. I mean, they've been effective in places here and there, but it's not
Not
like
yet. But you, I'm sorry I cut you off, but you're talking about teams with regular competent defenses. We again, you're talking. I have to say it. It will require Michigan State offense, defense, special teams to play games we have not seen them play this year.
and yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. So,
And even
you know,
even Michigan's not a big passing school, but with our Our biggest problem on defense is third and longs again.
Yeah.
And so if we can't get to the quarterback, Bryce can find someone who's open. The
True.
receivers aren't Michigan. They're not terrible. It's not what they do. And Bryce can run. He's not a runner, but he can run.
Yeah.
So
True.
I'm not saying that and to your point, yes, we do have those advantages. I just think our advantages are harder to get to than Michigan's because we're talking about, our skill positions might be better than theirs, but again, lines is where the game is won.
Right.
Who's going to assert their will?
Right.
And there's some. In fact, I may hate to be negative Nancy, but I'm super mad Spartan, so I'll be that guy. You can be the bastion of hope, and I can be the bastion of nah. I don't see it. Um, the statistics are coming out more and more about Jonathan Smith and in the Big Ten, especially second halves of games and not scoring points. Michigan State has yet, under Jonathan Smith, to outscore an opponent in the second half, especially in the Big Ten. They're a negative. I
Wow.
saw, I think it was like a negative 110 points scored in the second half versus opponents. So unless we get a big lead, I guess, and just hold on and clutch it to the end, it seems like we're not going to win the game just based on that alone.
Wow.
And
Wow. That is a damning statistic. I didn't know that. I didn't
yes,
know.
it means
Wow, that is
coaching
just piss
adjustments
poor.
terrible. So I'm saying there are hope. I have hope reasons, and I cannot find anything statistical, eye test wise, that says State should win this game and they have a chance. Now, I I think we keep it close. Hopefully, you have to play gap sound defense, and we haven't seen it. You have people running the wrong gaps. It's always a miscommunication. Every game, defensive miscommunication. Someone doesn't know where they're at. Someone's Most passes you see completed versus Michigan State defense, they're just wide open. And then,
Oh, they
can we
wide,
tackle?
like they like wide the hell open. Oh yeah, tackling has been an issue too, big
Versus
time.
Indiana, and I had to go back and rehash it. There are so many 3 and 4 yard passes that got turned to 15, 20 because people couldn't tackle.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with talent. That was just fundamentals. So yes, I think even if you look, we talk about Aiden Childs versus Bryce Underwood. If you look at their statistics, they're damn near the same. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, Bryce Underwood is thrown for more yards than Aiden Childs. Not by much, but he's thrown for more yards.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, and it's hard to even count on the rivalry piece of it because can you see Jonathan Smith doing like a fiery speech and getting guys ready to go?
Oh God, no.
All right,
Like I,
guys,
like
it's Michigan week. Let's go out there. We're gonna do. I'm like, I just can't see him like getting fired up and guys getting ready to go and getting a little juice to it. And I'm sure there's people on the
no.
team who do that, but I can't see. And that I know it's unfair. Yes, I understand it's unfair, but I can't imagine it.
Oh, you
So
know he's
it's
not doing that. He is not doing that. Like I said, Smith reminds me of like a Borg drone because every after every loss they've taken, every loss, he has the same damn dry ass answer. I mean,
man.
it's
Go back and look at the tape.
right. The first thing he always says is, "Okay, the loss is on me. I had the team prepared enough. Coaching staff haven't the team prepared enough. We just didn't get it done." That's his opening statement every single loss. And
And there's
then
been plenty of
when you
losses.
ask him, right, and then when you ask him, when you listen, because I listen to his press conference a little more just to see if he's gonna say the same shit other time, and he does. He blames himself. That's his opening statement. Then he says, "I had the team right or good enough to win the game today." And then it's like, yeah, I got to look at the tape. And then, yeah, from what I saw out there, it looks like, you know, the team didn't get that many tackles. You know, we gave a lot of tackles, or just didn't play good enough. We just didn't play good enough. Like, duh, we saw that. We saw you calling these asinine plays, talking about us a 4th and 1, and you doing a fucking jet sweep on a 4th and 1. And
Toss sweep. Yeah,
then it's like you said,
yeah.
we get some stupid penalty on offense, and next thing you know, we go from like 2-5 to 2-15, which turns into 3-21, which means you gotta pump the ball. And then we talked about that as like, well, yeah, I did see this, and this player did this, that, but, like, so the real issue is what gives me little fighting chance for winning the game was Michigan is the coaching staff. You just don't know what asinine plays they're going to try in the game. It's like a crapshoot. Like, okay,
every year,
here it is.
Every game, some funky ass play. You're right.
Right.
And I understand. I know we're just complaining. Every coaching staff has that. Every offensive coordinator has that thing. All some weird play. I can understand it sometimes, but it's always the most inopportune time to call like the most ridiculous play.
Exactly.
Like, hey, it's 4th and 1. Let's do this thing that we has not worked yet. Like, oh, sure.
Yeah,
and
they won't.
Sometimes it feels like
they'll get caught off guard.
Personnel.
Like, they'll get caught off guard with this one.
Like, you don't have a speed running back, so why are we trying to get to the edge with speed?
Right.
Like, it's befuddling.
Right.
Our quarterback shouldn't be our second leading rusher. Like,
or the first one. I think he ran the most yards in the Indiana game.
Yeah, off one play. So like I said, I can imagine this game. It's going to be like 3 60-yard touchdown runs or something, like from Michigan. I can see it.
And then what's going to happen,
I could just
Brian?
see it happening.
You know what's going to happen? So that when that happens, they're going to the NBCs are going to show Smith on the sideline, that usual gumpy ass look.
Same look.
Like. Then he looks up at he looks at the jumbotron at the replay of this ass whooping play that just happened.
You know what I want to see? One thing I've been it doesn't get talked about. Well, it's kind of we know at least the fandom, Smith is on the hot seat. You have not heard the administration, the president or the AD come out and say anything in support of Jonathan Smith. Now, before homecoming, we got an email from Jay Batt saying, "Hey, we need people to show up. We're gonna make it loud." Blah 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 blah. And then, the UCLA game happens, and you hear nothing. So maybe we're reading too much into it. Maybe we're not. Hopefully, the wheels are turning to get something done behind the scenes.
Oh, they're turning.
I don't know how they bring Jonathan Smith back, and I damn sure know how they bring the defensive coordinator back, Rossi.
Right.
Because that's
take the OC with him too. Unit. Yes. And to your point, and maybe we can get a segue to our Big Ten talk. So
yes.
Wisconsin, their administration came out today and said, hey, we still down with Luke Fickell. There's none of that from Michigan State.
Not at all.
And Wisconsin's yes. And Wisconsin's having a pretty I think their record may be worse than ours. I don't know, but they just got their ass
Big
whooped
Ten
at
wise,
they got their ass whooped 34-0 against Ohio State on
Ohio State
Saturday.
got choked out. I don't know their overall record is worse than ours, but I know their Big Ten record is the same in the basement. It's
Yeah,
Michigan State, Penn State, and Wisconsin squarely at the bottom.
and Rutgers got
Rutgers has a Big Ten
destroyed
victory.
against
They
who?
got destroyed, but I think they've had a Big Ten win. But anyway, I'm just saying that to say that those three teams are squarely in the basement. You talked about bottom feeders and who's in the
Yeah,
bottom feeders. It is us. It is
yes.
I. You know, without any doubt, Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Penn State, worst teams in the Big Ten record wise. So
And you know who keeps rolling? UCLA, dude. UCLA. They took out Maryland. They
Maryland.
did
Well,
another.
Maryland did.
They did another. They did another cross country trip from the West Coast, to the straight East Coast.
No, they played.
From
That game was at
LA to
UCLA.
Maryland. Oh, I thought that was.
That game was
I
at
thought that was
UCLA.
a week. Oh, I thought that was at Maryland.
That was a home game for UCLA.
Oh, it was. Okay, my bad. So
That'd
anyway,
have been back to back weeks on the road. But yeah, that was a home game for them.
okay, all right. So
But anyway, we're gonna talk about Big Ten. Maryland is doing what they do.
yes.
The month was turned, and they turned into October Maryland. Losing.
Yeah, by the time we get to the Ford Field game, like I said, we might be battle of the straight losers.
You know, I'm gonna
They
say
might
this,
be.
and you know,
I
our
said they're
father
gonna
brought
do.
this
They're
up.
gonna.
Not like we're planning on going to that game. I'm like, if they don't make a move, I know we're gonna make it hurt for them for Michigan State. And this is me, and this is call me a shitty fan. You can speak with your wallet. If you don't like the product, don't go to the games. And it has nothing to
Exactly.
do with the players. And I'm not trying to say don't support the teams. I'm going to be rooting for Michigan State. You know, screaming, yelling. I'm going to be up in East Lansing for this game. I'm not going to the game, but I'll be in East Lansing this weekend. Me and some of my Michigan buddies are going to hang out. Um, so if they don't want to pay the buyout, they don't want to do these things. Okay, if people stop buying season tickets, if they stop going to concessions, they start doing all these things. That buyout, what's going to be more financially risky? Not doing the buyout for Jonathan Smith, or keeping him and seeing complete fan apathy.
Oh, by chance. I mean, by
That becomes the
far.
question.
Oh, by far. You know, that's simple economics. You gotta choose the fan base. You gotta choose the fan base because, and I think we talked about this offline, and this was something that Mike Valeni and Rico Bearda pointed out on 97.1 The Ticket this past week, is that you are looking at the short term of not wanting to pay the buyout, possibly, versus what you just said, looking down the future, like, okay, if we choose to keep Jonathan Smith, how many people are going to re-up on their season tickets and pay all that money for tailgating and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
They're
So
not going to.
you're
Things are
going to
too
risk,
tight. Money's super tight
you
right
know,
now. Hell no.
so like I said, just tap Matt Ishbia and Dan Gilbert, Eli Broad, or his family. Just tell them, so that, hey, look, I just need 10 mil from each of y'all to pay this man out to get him up out of
It's
here.
all easy to spend somebody else's money.
And you can just write it off as a tax write off.
No, I know we're kind of going back to Michigan State and that piece of it. It really comes down to it with Jay Batt. Can he get everybody on board and move in the same direction? You know, because ideally, you don't want to fire a football coach. And I think the only way
No.
Smith would be able to keep his job is to since he went out, which seems extremely unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
But if he were to win out, the fan bases the people will quiet down and say, okay, I think he can. People would be on board with the 30 if he won out. That again, very unlikely, but that's what it would take. And J Back could sell that. If he doesn't win out, let's just say best case scenario, he wins out, keep our coach, we go to year 3, and then we can revisit it after that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, during year 3, because I think 3 years is enough to decide if someone's good enough or not for your football program going to the future. Because that's 3 years of all your people with the transfer portal, NIL, whatever, whatever, whatever. We gotta see some progress, like legitimate progress. On the absolute worst case scenario, Jonathan Smith loses out, which seems more likely than winning out. At that point, you have to let him go, right? You have to, because the expectation, the little minimum expectation was make a damn bowl game, and you'd go victor, no victories in the Big Ten for year 2 with the transfer portal, with your quarterback, your guys, and your everything. I don't think people at the outside looking in would say, that's crazy. People think it's crazy now. Talk about Jonathan Smith being fired, but they haven't been watching the games like we have. But anyway, let's keep the main thing the main thing. We're on Big Ten talk,
Yeah.
so we talked about the basement.
Well, it's part of it.
We talked about
Yeah.
UCLA. They got something. They found something. They found goal with their staff that they have right now, and their players are galvanized, and they're you know the they won the last 3 games. So
Yes. And their
they got it
records,
going
their
on.
overall records, the same as ours, and their Big Ten record is phenomenal compared to
They
us.
only lost one.
Because
They're like 3-1 in the Big Ten.
they're like 3-1 in the Big Ten. We're 0-4.
Yeah,
Ever since they beat Penn State, they've been on a roll. I mean, hell, I see, and this would be very bad. This is definitely a fireable offense for Jonathan Smith if UCLA makes a bowl game and we don't.
they probably will. They're gonna win
Now
what
you're talking
2 more
about
games.
extremely embarrassing. I mean,
And they're
extremely
same
embarrassing.
spot. Think about this, Ken. Their old coach got hired the same time as Jonathan Smith. He gets fired not even mid-year, a quarter of the way through
Right.
the
Three
season,
games in.
and they go on a
Three
run.
games
They
in.
look like the better coached team.
Yes.
And UCLA got big money problems. Their administration's a mess. They damn near had to get a loan to come to the Big Ten. I'm making that up, but you know what I mean. I'm just saying they got money
Yeah.
problems, but they can field a
Yeah.
better football team than you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Embarrassing.
and you speak about Rutgers. Rutgers they caught Oregon at a bad time, a mad Oregon team.
Oh
So they
my
got to get put it on them.
god. Oh my god. They
As I
destroyed
like to say,
Rutgers.
Oregon had Rutgers' legs in the air. They gave it to them anywhere they didn't want
They sure
it.
did,
Was it
boy.
56 to 3 or something like that?
They're like Oregon of old, like Oregon of last year, the way they put it on
That
Rutgers.
Indiana game got them messed up. But but that's what a good team's supposed to do, right?
Yes.
They lost a hard fought good football game to a really good Indiana team. They were pissed off, and Rutgers had to get it.
Oh,
They
and they
came
got
out
it all
there
right.
and took them to Pound Town.
They sure did, boy. That was brutal. Man. Yeah. And Ohio State, like I said earlier, they blanked Wisconsin.
choked them out.
I mean,
I I don't
they
know if their
really
offense
choked
is so
Wisconsin
great at
out.
Ohio State. I don't know if it's like I think it's obviously serviceable. Probably I would give it good to very good. You know, they can do some things, but their defense is
Oh
putting
my
teams
god,
in a headlock and giving them a noogie.
their defense is phenomenal. Like wow.
And so we're looking, and I said it last week. Obviously, it's Ohio State and Indiana looking like the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah. And I don't believe they
Looking like
played each
those are
other
the.
this year. I don't think they played because I think
I
they
don't
played
think
each other
so.
last year.
Yeah,
So
they did last year. So you're looking at
so I
those are two big teams, and like I said, I can't even guarantee that quarterback from Indiana. I know he's getting a lot of buzz, and I know Michigan State is not great, but he was putting some passes together. Like, okay, that was just a hell of a pass. Like, just he's put it right there. He's been
oh
doing
yeah,
throwing darts all
Mendoza.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Mendoza, he is
Mendoza,
balling.
yeah. Yeah, they he might be like the top dude for the Heisman. I mean, as far as for the Heisman race,
Hey,
they have him up in there.
he's been balling. Indiana's rolling. I think they ranked
Oh
number
yeah,
two
for sure.
or three.
Yeah, number two, because
They earned it.
Miami lost, the U lost. That that little hiccup they had against Louisville, and at the time they're
Yeah,
ranked
a
number
hiccup.
two. So now
Yeah,
it's
they had
Indiana's ranked
that
number two
quarterback
behind
threw as
Ohio
many
State.
interceptions. They got paid $1 million. He had $1 million
Oh
per
yeah,
interception. One, two, three, four,
oh yeah, he was
five.
really
Well, we'll take that
colorblind.
one back. Yeah, he was dealing to the other team.
Yeah,
But
he was really colorblind. But yeah, Indiana's ranked number two now, and I don't know what Indiana's remaining schedule is, but
I'm sure they'll be favored. I can look it up real quick.
I was gonna say, can they go undefeated?
I don't think it's uh out of the realm of possibilities, honestly. You look it up to get some accurate information.
Yes, we accurate here on Cue the Woodshed.
Sometimes. All right.
Some.
They have they could go undefeated. They have UCLA, Maryland,
mm,
Penn State,
mm.
Wisconsin, and Purdue. I would damn near say they're going to be favored to be undefeated going into the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah, of those
Because I
teams.
would imagine they're going to and UCLA is at their spot. So
Oh,
they're
so
not
they
going to
come
be
to
on that.
Indiana.
UCLA is not going to catch Indiana sleeping. UCLA has to go to Indiana. And then it's at
Oh
Maryland, at
yeah.
Penn State. Those should be two dubs. Home for Wisconsin definitely should be a dub, and then at Purdue. So I would say it's safe to assume versus what we've seen so far that they will go
They're gonna go
undefeated.
undefeated.
Yes, headed
Yeah,
to
I
Ohio State. And Ohio State, I mean, to be clear, they have to beat Michigan this year. It was to be 4 years in a row they lost to if they don't beat them this year. So yeah, you got to.
5.
Five? Ooh, even worse. Gross. So that's Ohio State's test. You're gonna have to beat Michigan this year. I know for last year was Ryan Day special choke job, but he made up for it. And you run the gauntlet in the playoffs and win a national championship. You can be forgiven. But he definitely has to
Yes.
beat Michigan this year.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure. For
but
sure.
that's the Big Ten. We have the basement feeders, high Michigan State, us. We are them. Bottom feeders are us. Then you have UCLA resurgent, come back to life. Zombie UCLA, they're here, they're back, they're strong. Then you got the two dominant teams, you know, Ohio State, Indiana, and you kind of have Oregon. Everybody was like, "Hey, Oregon's back" because they beat Penn State. Now Penn State's not. not even impressive victory anymore, I
I
guess.
know.
So
No,
Oregon
it's
has some
not.
things to prove.
Let's just
So
call it. I
we'll,
mean, there'll at least be 3 teams in the Big Ten who be in the
oh,
playoffs.
sure.
Ohio State,
At a
Indiana,
minimum,
Oregon, at a minimum.
100%. Those guys are making, unless they something completely inexplicably happens, it'll be those 3 teams easy.
Do you think the Big Ten get a 4th team in there, like a 2-loss USC?
They'd have to win out. I don't know their schedule, but I can, like I said, look it up. That'd be the only the school I think that can make it. It's USC. I was rooting against them versus Notre Dame. They
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley had some questionable calls in that game, I think. Well, Notre Dame, they we make fun of them. They're no slouch. They're not bums. All
Yeah.
right, USC. Ooh. Yeah. All right. So they have Nebraska should be a victory. Northwestern should be a victory. Iowa should be a victory. At Oregon.
Mmm. That's gonna be
Now
spicy.
that would be the game they have to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And I would think if you have undefeated Ohio State or undefeated Indiana at the end of the year, both those teams are going to make it because one of them have one loss, one be undefeated. We'll just say that. But then you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at two loss teams in USC in Oregon, and
Which one do you
it
choose?
would. Yeah, I guess we have to come back to who would have the the better losses. USC lost to Illinois and Notre Dame, both ranked opponents.
And
Oregon would have
Oregon
lost to
lost.
undefeated Indiana, and if they lose to
Oh yeah, you're
USC,
right. Right.
that'd be their second loss. I would make a case they'll put both of them in. You'd have 4 Big Ten teams in. I think that's what they would do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me looking just strictly from the Big Ten perspective. I haven't looked at the SEC and who else is there and their losses. That'd be a determining factor as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's I suppose, some little thought provoking there to be like, could the Big Ten get 4 teams to the playoff?
I don't think that's crazy though. I don't think it's crazy if USC beats Oregon and both teams win out. I
Mm-hmm.
would say more than likely they would get in because usually a 2 loss
Mm-hmm.
team, no one's going to complain about a 2 loss team making the playoffs.
No. But my prediction is, well, I'll say with the next 3 to 5 years, there's going to be 16 teams because they're going to open it up again. Watch, they've been
They
talking
don't
about
need
it,
to. It's just I know they're talking about it, but
and I
there's not
agree. I
there's
agree.
not
You don't need
most of those
16
teams not good enough
teams.
to win the championship.
No.
Like I'll stick to this, and I will always say I think 6 would have been the best number
I totally agree with you on that.
because people complain about the BCS and this and that. They got it right most of the time. The
Yeah.
14 playoff, they got it right most of the time because usually win up games end up being a blowout every single time.
Yeah.
So I can understand what we have 8 now. Like I can understand it. No, it's more than 8.
Well,
It's
12,
12.
12, 12
12,
team
yeah, 12.
playoff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
12.
this will be the
This
second year
12
of
should
it.
be it because everybody gets their every P4 conference gets their automatic qualifier. Then you have the rankings that they should be coming out pretty soon, honestly. If
Yeah, I
this
think
week
at the
not or
end
next
of
week.
in the next week. Yep. Yep.
So
Yep. Big
ancient time of
10.
college football,
Yeah.
ancient times.
I want, yeah, I want to make this little quick nugget here too. You know, since we're talking about coach firings earlier. So far we've had 3 coaches that have gotten the axe. Of course, James Franklin got fired, and uh, the coach from Florida got fired, and then Trent Dilfer, the coach of UAB, got fired.
Well, three
So within
recent
the past,
firings. There've been some more, but
yeah,
yeah,
these are recent firings. Talking about within the past week, maybe 2 weeks.
yes.
So, what are we waiting for? Michigan State
Man, that
just
James Franklin
asking
firing that's tough. It's like,
that
I
put
mean,
like every coach on notice,
like,
except for like
wow.
if not named Ryan Day and Kalen DeBauer and Kirby Smart and
Hey, speaking of the board, we questioned him. He got Alabama looking like Alabama again right now.
oh yeah, he does.
They took that bad loss at the beginning of the year because Florida State is not a good
Yeah,
football
Florida
team.
State.
But
No, they're
now
just as
they've been
bad as
rolling since
us. I think
then.
they're like 3-4. So
Yeah, so
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I know I used to make fun of James Franklin. I'm a known James Franklin, you know, shit talker. I would take him at Michigan State. I hope Jay Bat is back there like, listen, don't you want to stay in the Big Ten? We'll give you whatever you want. Like just, you know, just please. Because I would you know how it's so crazy to think about them firing a coach who's won double digit games like 5 of the last 6 years. Like, oh, he can't win a big game. Like, well, man, he does have a Big Ten championship. It's like I know his record's not the best versus those teams. He's made the playoffs. He was
hmm
one game away, a few plays away from being in the national championship.
Basically,
I,
it was that interception thrown by Drew Aller away from more likely winning that game.
yeah, yeah. So it's like that's tough business. So obviously, Penn State feels like they can do better than that, and good luck to them because as a school that has been to the mountaintop and our coach D'Antonio had beaten some of them James Franklin teams, it's tough down here at the bottom. It's tough, and I
you
don't.
know.
You take making bowl games and lightly until you haven't made one for a while. You take some of that stuff lightly until you ain't been there for a while.
hmm
And people on the message board, oh man, he's gonna win 8 games. And I'm like, 8 games? Ooh, when last time we won 8 games? What are we talking about?
It'll
Like
be 5 years since we won 8 games because the last time we won, and this was more than at, was Tucker
Mel
in
Tucker.
2021. He won 11 games.
Shit, before
We
that,
can't we can't sniff
2017.
we can't sniff 7 games. Can't even sniff 6 games.
That's what I'm saying. Like, please. Like, you're not gonna get too many people with his coaching pedigree. And I don't think that will happen because if I'm James Franklin, Michigan State would have to roll out a golden carpet dipped in with bejeweled, with blood diamonds all on the side and just I don't know everything you could imagine, and
with his
promise
own
like we'll give you all the
with his
NIL.
own
Just
right with his own
they have
Aladdin.
to give him the they give him the Lincoln Riley deal. You can have a house, you can have a private jet. You people can use whatever they want to. They'd have to like man, but yeah,
Hey, when
that's my
you
thing.
are at the bottom, that's what you got to do. You're a bottom feeder. Look what North Carolina did. They drugged Bill Belichick
mm,
after I think Belichick's older than Mac Brown, and Mac Brown was our daddy's age, and now they got someone much older. But they rolled out
Yeah,
everything
but
like here,
it
Bill
ain't
here,
working
whatever
for
you want
USC.
here.
It ain't working for Carolina though. It ain't
No,
working. It
it's
ain't looking
not.
good.
No, it's not.
But yeah, I
But they gave him the
yeah,
administrator gave him a vote of confidence.
that's you know what that's a vote of confidence. We like Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, I like them. That was the vote of confidence. So maybe not the best example, but yes, to your point, we that's what Jay Bat's job is though. He has to sell the university to somebody and make this a destination. Barring,
Yes.
Smith going winning out and keeping Jonathan Smith. Yes.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
We saw like Jonathan Smith after every press conference saying the same thing. He gotta go. He's saying
I know
defense
we
is
are the
bad. The offense moved the ball, but we didn't score touchdowns.
yeah,
Kicking field
yeah.
goals in garbage time to forget practicing in the rain. Like, oh God. But we here now. That's where we at.
Yes, thank God that college basketball starts in a couple weeks.
In Izzo we trust.
Oh my gosh, man. Man. Oh, one last thing I'm gonna say, Super Mad Spartan, you talking about who could coach Penn State after they fired James Franklin. So, your boy Dabo Sweeney, he's been flipping out in Clemson. So if
He got the
Clemson
sounds
decides
of
to
a
give him
coach
his
that
walking
knows he might not
papers,
be there much longer.
so if you're Penn State, will you take a swing at Dabo?
He don't do NIL. So the name linked to Penn State has been Nebraska's coach Matt Rule, which I don't. I
Don't do
don't.
that.
That's the name that's the media's been saying. See, but you never know what the media if that's true or not. That could be agents
Right.
like, yo,
This is
say
tough as
this so we can
shit.
get my guy
Yeah, I know
an
some
extension.
more money. Right.
Yeah, because I don't understand why you would fire James Franklin for Matt Rule. Matt
Agreed.
Rule ain't accomplished not nearly as much as James Franklin.
And it's funny
Not
that
saying he's a bad coach. I'm just saying he's just not
right,
not the same pedigree.
right. But it's funny that all that was out there before he got his ass whooped in Minnesota last Friday. So you still want Matt Rule? Just saying.
Got they boat road.
Right. Right. So once again, before we get out of here, let's stump you with another MSU fun football fact. I think you got the last one, but
No, I got it
trying to get you
wrong.
back. Oh, okay, you got it wrong. Okay, well, let's keep this streak up then. So, in honor of the Michigan State game, this fun football fact, multiple choice, is in regards to that game. So, here you go, Mr. Super Mad Spartan. Who has the most rushing yards against Michigan? I'll repeat the question. Who has the most rushing yards against Michigan? Which Michigan State running back in the history of this rivalry? Your three choices are Kenneth Walker III, TJ Duckett, or Javon Ringer.
So it's a single game or just total?
Yes, in a single game. Single game. In a single game.
I feel like I gotta go K9. I I'll go K9.
You sure that's
I'm
your
trying to
final
think of.
answer?
Yes.
Okay. So you're wrong, but that's a good answer because I thought that too before I researched it. So the answer is TJ Duckett. And
Wow.
when I read this, I'm like, wow, we thought K9 went the hell off. TJ Duckett, 211 yards rushing in one single game against Michigan. 211 yards, bro.
Is this clock gate? What game was it?
Yes, it was. It
Did
was
we
the
win?
2001 game.
No. It's a clock
It
gate.
was
That's
that
funny.
game. Yes.
Who did
A
K9 rush
lot
for?
of
Well,
Michigan
K9
alums.
put 5 touchdowns on. That's what it was.
Yeah. But K9 is actually third on this list.
Really?
Yes. It's
I
TJ
clearly
Duckett,
remember
number
just every.
one. Yeah, TJ Duckett's number one, 211. Javar Ringer had 198. And then
Oh,
Walker's third with 197.
oh man! I guess could have swore that K9 went for over 200, but yeah, I don't. I just
I
remember
thought he
five
did
touchdowns.
too. But yes. Yeah,
I'll go watch
that
that game tonight just to bring back some happy times.
I know,
Then cry
right.
myself to sleep.
Right. I may find this 2001 game to see TJ Duckett.
Oh, it reminds me. I know we about to sign off and everything. When we did our interview, Blair White's one of my favorite MSU receivers of all time because of that game. Because that's when I had just left Michigan State in 2008,
Yeah.
and he got him a touchdowns. We watched that game every year too. So I was like, man, talking to like a Spartan legend here, not fanboy out, but yeah, I'd throw that out there now that we passed the interview.
Oh yeah, Blair White was awesome. No, he was awesome, man. I remember that game because I
Couldn't
was
remember his
at
name, but you remember
2008.
that game.
Right. I couldn't remember the last name. Sorry. Shout out to Blair White. I do apologize for that again. Um, yeah, that was at Michigan in 2008. That was D'Antonio's first win at Michigan. So,
Brian Hoyer.
yeah. Yes. Yeah, Brian Hoyer, boy. Yep. Did his thing. Did his thing. So, stumped you once again, Superman Spartan. I'm gonna get, another football fact here that I can continue to rack up these W's against you.
At least,
But
at least
hey,
some
that's how
Spartans
it's
winning.
clear right. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, y'all. What to get up out of here. Another fun episode of Big Ten Talk. Preview of the Michigan State game. We just got a lot of hopes and dreams that we can pull this off. But I won't be surprised come next Monday. We had the Blues again. So anyway, signing off here. Make sure you guys check us out on all those social media. Check out our YouTube page, Spotify, Amazon Music. And, thanks to everyone who subscribes to our podcast. We definitely enjoy it, enjoying the comments and everything. So continue to hit that subscribe button. And we're going to continue bringing this hot content out to y'all. So with that said, I'm Ken, the super cool Spartan. My brother Brian, the super mad Spartan. Cue the woodshed, and we out of here. Hate, hate, hate to Michigan.
Peace.